Kalle, I promoted the first fight, KSI Logan Paul, like that, because they come to me.
It was
Stuart Jones, in Manchester. So Stuart Jones come to me, the same thing, me and Jake Wood, and they come to us and said, listen, we've got this kid, KSI, he's fighting Joe Weller, but this was the first one. He said, KSI's fighting Joe Weller. And I was like, KSI, same thing. I said, was it, what is it? What is it? I didn't even know about YouTube. So they want to put this fight on at the Copper Box. And I've gone, that's, like, me and Jake Wood were doing boxing at the Stars at the time. So we had like Wayne Bridge boxing, Jake boxed on one and all that. So we're doing celebrity boxing effectively, like in Lancaster Hotel and all of that. So this guy, Stuart Jones, has contacted us with, I think it was an Opt agency or something. I think that was the name of their agency. He said, we got this kid KSI fighting Joe Weller at the Copper Box. We don't know how to put on a show, but we've seen you guys do it, and we actually quite like you. Can you promote the show for us? Like, put the show on for us? I went, yeah, no problem. I won't tell you the figure, but I thought, what's going on here? So I said, yeah, no problem. We'll have to work. He said, how much will it cost us? And I went, well, where are you doing it? He said, the Copper Box. I went, no, mate. I went, that's like 8,000 people. You can't do it. He went, oh no, we sold all the tickets. And I went, what? So what I've done was I've like Googled KSI and I was like, 50 million followers. Joe Weller, same thing. So I've gone back to him and gone, yeah, no, I can do that, mate. No problem. We can put that show on. And he's gone, how much would it cost us? So I've gone X, Y, Z, and he's gone, lovely. And I've gone, fuck it.
You put the phone there thinking, oh man,
but lovely. But all I've got to do really is like do the simple things like book the ring, get the ambulances, doctors, You know what it's like. The simple thing is going to take me a day. Yeah. Bam, done that. Turn up, unbelievable. Then we got KSI versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul. Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's going to cost you X, Y, Z this one.
Plus 10%.
Lovely. Lovely. Bam. And now we go to, this is a crazy story. We go to the Manchester Arena. Oh, the AO Arena. AO Arena. 20,000 people. And to explain what this was like, right, so I've invited some big boxing names up there, like Anthony Yard wanted to go and all these people because they wanted to bring all their kids and whatnot. So I had all these big boxing names. And you had 20,000 people. And to explain it, it was like, to give you an analogy, it was like I'd been in a coma for 20 years. I was going to an event to watch some people like that were obviously the new people on the block, but I didn't know because I've been in a coma for 20 years. And I go there, and there was just people running past the people that I knew, like Anthony Yard and everything else, just screaming at all these other people. And it was like, where have I been for the last 20 years? But it was just like, the experience was insane.
I can relate.
Yeah, so, thank you.
So, going this back and forth, and we became the first promoters to sell their business to the the leading sports agency in the world at the time.
Well, after the KSI Logan Paul, just to set you up for where you went, after we done KSI Logan Paul 1, and Jake Paul boxing the undercard against Deji, KSI's younger brother. So I didn't know any of these. And look, I spoke to KSI about this the other day. I went, look where it's gone. Eddie Hearn's gone, I like this. And all of a sudden he's turned it into, and it's become what it has become. But KSI said to me the other day, I said to him, I thought that was going to be a smash and grab, mate. Like in and out, you were using this as an umbrella for whatever your YouTube stuff is. Did you ever believe it would come to what it is? It's not sort of dominating a certain area of boxing now. But yeah, go on, carry on. But it's just insane.
No, but it's so interesting listening to this because obviously, I just turned up at a certain time, and I remember it was early doors in lockdown, and finally, Mams and me have managed to set a meeting, concentrate just on this for one afternoon, and he's come with KSI, and I remember even like he sent me JJ's proper name. And because I said, could you give me for security? Could you give me the names of who you're coming with? And I said, well, where the fuck is KSI? And he sent me the name. Go, no, it's KSI. And I was like, oh, all right, now I'm even more confused. Met JJ KSI, in case you don't know. What a fella, right?
Unbelievable, yeah.
Like, honestly, within 20 minutes. I'd gone from, oh mate, they're turning up. It's similar to you. It's like they wanted me to promote this circus there's a quick buck involved. Yeah. Okay, I can look at that. Depends what it is. Yeah, I'll be honest. Right?
Yeah,
and that's what it is.
Yeah,
totally different.
Yeah,
because by this time, I think they'd seen that the environment wasn't going anywhere. Like it weren't diminishing, it wasn't getting smaller, and there was a genuine space for this.
They recognise this market,
as Derek Chisora says, the circus.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so this is not just about a fight. This is about creating this platform longevity-wise. So and we're going to start with the O2. And I'm pretty similar to you. I'm like, all right, the O2. I went, yeah. What do you mean the little one next door, the 1500 one? Yeah. No, we're going to go O2. And I'm like thinking, okay, right. Okay, right. Let me go and do my homework on this. Anyway, so we kick off. We announce Misfits' first ever show. And it's I'm in Australia at the time, like living. I felt like I was living with a mistress with Misfits. That was the way it felt. It was like seedy. It was like, I'm going to have to do a bit of Misfits work now. I was down in Australia promoting Myris Breedy's Opetaya, part one. And we're announcing, like, I can't remember, it was like 3 a.m. Australian time. We're announcing this KSI Wasabi fight. His name was Wasabi.
Yeah.
That's a guy, not the stuff you get in Japanese food. Yeah. So he said, put it out there, mate. When I say 25, 30 million likes, views, whatever it is, within. By the time I woke up from 3 a.m. to I don't know, 8 a.m. in the morning. Like, I'm just like looking at
our
this.
experience was the same. I was the same.
Like, this is like, even like, you know, when Fury AJ got provisionally announced at the time, like, forget it, absolutely forget it, right? So I'm like, oh my god, tickets gone in a day, the O2, right? I'm like, okay, so there's a certain interest here. Anyway, we roll on. It's end of August, this fight. I'm away with the family, August holiday, right? I'm up a mountain. I've got a call. Mams, Wasabi's injured. I said, wow, okay, it's pay-per-view, mate. We can't change the opponent. What we'll do is we'll push it 8 weeks, 6 weeks. That's the way it works. Yeah, he said, no, we're not pushing. I said, no, you've got to understand, right? I've done a lot of pay-per-views, let me tell you. And that is the way it works. He said, well, Kalle, with all due respect, this isn't really, your traditional space. So if you wouldn't mind, could we give you a suggestion? There's me thinking, no, do it my way. So guys, tell me your suggestion, but I'm not interested. He said, look, we've got this idea. It's Mams and KSI, and he's going to fight 2 guys in one night. I said, right. I said, put it down. Whatever you're drinking right now, you put it down, right? 2 fights in one night. It was the most stupid idea I've ever heard in my life on a pay-per-view. So what happens what's he going to do? Fight at 5 in the afternoon in an empty arena, and then like he loses and then he can't fight the second fight. No one's going to buy the pay-per-view because everyone's found out because there's a social media audience. So no, he's not going to lose. And even if he does lose, like they'll still buy it. And I'm like, mate, I said it's very interesting, this concept of yours. But anyway, long story short, I got outvoted. So I'm like, oh my god, right? So we're rolling with 2 fights in one night. So I rock up to the arena, and I think this place is going to be like, this is the most stupid idea ever. O2, first fight, the main event is the first fight. I mean, what insanity. Yeah. Get a call. The event manager, well, look, we've got a police problem. I said, what's the police problem? There's a roadblock because the kids have rushed the venue. I said, but it's 4:45 in the afternoon. He said, yeah, they're trying to get in already. They're like literally trying to jib in. I'm like, what? Half hour before we started, the whole arena's turned up.
Packed.
When I say turned up, I mean turned up.
Had the same thing in Manchester.
I think they were all wearing Pampers that night because nobody left their seats.
Yeah.
6 hours, nobody left their seats. And I must admit, I sat there all night with my mouth to the floor, right? And it wasn't because of the ring girls, right? Yeah. It was literally the atmosphere it was just so different. Yeah, I'm not saying it was better because again, I've got different memories of atmospheres at the O2. Kessler Froch, that's an atmosphere.
I think the demographic was different though because you got a lot of people there with their parents with their kids because their kids were the ones like 14-year-olds and everything else. The demographic was more carnival like. It's exactly the same experience. Like from 4:45, you open the doors at 5 o'clock or whatever. from the moment that first bell goes to the last bell, every seat is absolutely packed, unlike boxing where you get people coming in for the main event and then leaving or whatever. So the demographic was different, but like you say, the vibe was just insane.
It's a popcorn atmosphere. It's like they're going there for entertainment. It's, I know boxing technically is entertainment, but it's we see it slightly different. Yeah, it's more tribal. It's more And
Playbook Boxing is powered by our friends at Betway. For exclusive acquisition offers, free bets, and much more, download the Betway app now.
It was a hell of an experience. What I noticed was also the demographic. It was like all the fighters. Derek, turned up with all his kids. Like all the fighters I knew, they were all calling me, but they were all turning up. Can we have 5 tickets instead of 1?
Yeah.
And it was just, and I quickly saw the there wasn't all approval. I had one guy from the traditional space. He called up. He got his ticket plus his 2 kids, and the next day he's slagging us off on social media. Yeah. So I've called him out. I said, mate, are you the same fella who got free comps off me last night? I said, and now you're slagging me off. You look like you're having a good time with your kids there, right? But it was that sort of And I get it, because I was a bit like that before as well. So I've never sort of said, nah, you can't say that. Mate, it's just flown from there as a brand. It's like, if you want to have a row with someone these days, anywhere, you see Eddie Dana at the moment.
They say Misfits.
You see that Sadiq Khan, the not so impressive mayor of London, he's been called out on Misfits. He said
but that's the genius thing that you've done, isn't it? You've taken something and you've just run with it.
Yeah.
Gary Neville recently, was it someone who was it? Joey Barton, Gary Neville,
Barton,
right?
Yeah.
So you've got all these, and it's and that's, I think, testament of of where it's at. And KSI hasn't even boxed in a couple of years, and it's
still booming.
Going strong.
I've got to tell you, he was training with Derek Chisora the other day, because then Derek was doing some mad. Obviously, he's fighting next couple of weeks. Yeah. So he's in hardcore training. They done this circuit, and it was like 10 rounds of this circuit, 3 minutes with 30 seconds off. KSI was there from the beginning to the end. The kid can train, mate. He is fit as a fiddle. I said to him, like, no, mate, I didn't think you'd have that in you. That was hardcore. Like, you have to go soul searching in that sort of training.
And I think, JJ approached fights, I've got to say, like a world champion. Yeah. The camps, in a way, I think the camps were sometimes maybe a bit too tough for the level of opposition. I mean, the one poor guy for this Phase Temper, he thought was an influencer, who also was taking it quite serious, but he absolutely flattened him around. I was like,
that wasn't the one where he boxed 2 on one night, though, wasn't that?
Was also that was. But there he fought the sort of Mexican pro, who was really a Mexican journeyman type fighter.
He flattened both of them.
He flattened both of them in the night. Yeah, that was all right as well. I tell you, I wasn't so worried about the second one. With the first one, I was sitting there going, right, okay. But they proved me so wrong, and I also learned, like, get in your lane, Kalle, right? So what do I really do at Misfits? Because everyone said, what would you do at Misfits? All I do at Misfits really is set the TV side of things up. So obviously our deals with DAZN. And
there was a time though, Kalle, where we sort of had a vision then, or I did anyway, where I thought, right, because this Misfits thing has been so successful, that Kalle Sauerland now has seen a market and opened up a new market, and you've done it. You talked about it in Germany and all around the world, etc., etc. And you see this thing, you run with it. Yeah, it's been very, very successful. That might be where you're going, but now Misfits Pros come into the game, and you've got this big show you're doing. Obviously, April the 4th, Derek Chisora, Wilder, and everything else. You've now come back into the traditional market massively.
I always say the dark side always pulls me back. Did my 20s with football and pulled me back in, and now I think first of all, we didn't stop doing. We did the Wasserman boxing shows on Channel 5, and that was great fun. But it is time to go back a bit to the day job. I do miss it, and this has never been away. And I've had a bit of a sabbatical, but MF Pros. Look, we did our first show last week in Dublin, and it's a different fight week as well. So I'm still looking forward to Misfits fight weeks as well. But again, people say, "Oh, well, you're going to do that." Mate, they are so, for me, they're like putting on, you know, do I put on a pair of beach shorts today or do I put on my my 3-piece suit?
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
just
I get it.
and I have a totally, I sit there also, I noticed that at ringside with a very different take. I'm much more results orientated on the MF Pro stuff, because you sit there and you know, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, Mick, you know, how's this going for Conlon tonight, or Kieran Malloy or Niall Brown on the card, you know, and I get nervous throughout the week. I'm a very nervous, emotional promoter, so this is worse, but I'm not great. But with Misfits, I'm sitting there, and you know, who wins? It's about entertainment, isn't it? You know, and
two different
I've
things.
had a few, like, I really like Joey Essex, and you know, I was hoping Joey, and then Joey had, for me, the best ever fight we've had on Misfits. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. But you know, so there I've got some sort of favourites there, you know, but it's a different vibe.
Right.
You know, it's like it's literally it's entertainment, and that's the way it's supposed to be.